Hey, have you ever wondered why some days you feel like you're on top of the world, and then other days you're just completely wiped out? Even when nothing really, happened? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into a really cool framework for understanding the invisible forces that shape our inner world. We're talking about a whole different kind of energy, one that seriously impacts how we feel. So let's get right into it. So let's start with a big one. What actually determines your state of mind? I mean, is it what's happening around you, the thoughts in your head, or could it be something a little more subtle, like the energy you're constantly soaking up from your surroundings? To get a handle on this, let's use a super simple analogy. Just think about a plant. If it gets the right sunlight, the right nutrients, it flourishes, right? It grows strong. But without them, it starts to wither. Well, the core idea we're exploring today is that we're kind of the same. We have this inner world that absolutely needs the right kind of energy to thrive. But listen, we're not just talking about the physical energy you get from food or a good night's sleep. Nope, we're going a little bit deeper here, into the stuff our spirit needs to feel truly alive. And this brings us to a really key distinction. On one side, you've got what we can call material energy, the obvious stuff like food and water that fuels our bodies. But on the other side, there's something the source material calls antimatter energy. Now, this is the invisible fuel for our spirit, our mind, and our emotions. Let's break that down. This antimatter energy is basically all the non-physical stuff that shapes how we feel inside. And it's pretty straightforward. It comes in two distinct flavors: positive energy that fills us up, and negative energy that, well, just completely drains us. Okay, so if we want to protect our well-being, the first thing we got to do is figure out what's draining our spiritual battery in the first place. So let's take a look at some of the usual suspects, the common sources of this negative energy. Just take a look at this list. I mean, does any of this feel familiar? I'm guessing it does. Constant arguments, a messy or just chaotic space, that feeling of relentless pressure. And then you've got the stuff from other people, right? Criticism, nonstop complaining, and that heavy feeling of injustice. Think of these as tiny leaks in your spiritual energy tank. And the source material really just nails the impact of this. It says, when a person encounters these things, they lose energy and become weary of life. It's that kind of deep exhaustion that's way more than just physical. It gets right to your core. But, and this is a big but, it's not all about just dodging the negative stuff. The real power comes from actively going out and finding the positive. So let's flip the script and focus on how we can intentionally recharge those spiritual batteries. And here it is. This is the antidote to all that spiritual drain. What fills us back up? Things like genuine love, praise, and encouragement, relationships that are in harmony, being in beautiful, orderly spaces. It's also about a sense of freedom, having a purpose. Even just those little moments of kindness and beauty can make a huge difference. And the result of actually seeking this stuff out, it's completely transformative. Like the source material says, it leads to being full of love for life and confidence in the future. It's all about taking back control and creating an inner environment where you can really, truly flourish. So we've laid it all out, the two types of energy, what drains us and what fuels us. So the million-dollar question is, what do we do with all this information? Well, that brings us to the core strategy of this whole framework: escape and approach. Just think about it for a second. With everything we've just talked about, what do you think is the single most powerful way to stop that negative energy from just taking over? The answer? Well, it might be a lot more direct than you think. The source material gives us a surprisingly simple one-word answer: escape. In the original text, it's just this one character, ni, which means to escape or flee. The idea here is that the most effective strategy isn't to stand there and fight or try to endure negative energy. It's to physically remove yourself from it. Now, of course, that's not always possible, but the principle is what matters. Create distance whenever you can. So it really all comes down to this super simple two-step plan. Step 1, escape. Actively move away from the people, places, and things that are draining you. Step 2, approach. Consciously move towards the people, environments, and beliefs that lift you up. See, it shifts you from just being a passive victim of your environment to being the active creator of your own inner world. And that really brings us to the final question, the one for you. Now that you have this framework, the power is literally in your hands. So as you go about your day-to-day, how will you choose your energy sources? What are you going to move away from, and what are you going to move towards?